Decent dugongs, you nearly start. But what'll you do if a parliament... Decent dugongs, you nearly startled me out. Onward!
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Tomatoes.
Ain't a big cheese on your block with a wheel and a push. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sicil's ever seen.
Not the mood for cheese. There's some more holy than the size of this fine woman.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Not the mood for cheese. That excuse is more holy than the size of this fine woman.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Tomatoes.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
again. Do feel free to depart from Seal at your earliest convenience.
Snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
I'm straight, I'm true. Harry's by the dozens.
On the move for cheese. That skims is more home than the slice of this fine woman.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots. Well, what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each. Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Made a big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Any takers? Come on, you
Let us see if you can choose the finest dreams.
Aaron has many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies, size seals everything. Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Carrot, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let's see. Carrot, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Carrot, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Heavenly Harry, delicious sausage, yours for a scrap gold.
Let's see. Carrot, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Let's see. Carrot, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Carrot, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Heavenly Harry, delicious sausage, yours for a scrap gold.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew 'em, spice 'em, stir and churn.
Heavenly Harry, delicious sausage, yours for a scrap gold.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Not the mood for cheese. Eggs gives us more hope than the size of this pie.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Fresh haddock, perfect for a fire.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens. Good stuff.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse has more holes than a slice of this fine Gormanberg.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
I'm straight. I'm true. Paris by the dozens.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
this is no mortal, I see. Strange you take the guise of a source hunter. But I shall of course honor your chosen form. Indeed, I suppose I should have expected that one of your kind would snap our brother. Boreas always did dance uncomfortably close to the dark arts. But I suppose the others of we know, like fools, we waited for his pride, his hunger for more, and we, and with us all the subjects of the realm of fairy, do owe you our lives, Source Hunter. If, no, not if, but when, we might be of assistance to you in this dimension. I am King Sewer of the Summer Kingdom of Calvia, brother, alongside the other elemental monarchs, to the unfortunate and insane Boreas. In earlier days we ruled but something changed in Boreas. He grew darker somehow. More than when our brother called the elemental seats to convene in Hyperheim. We were ecstatic. Boreas seemed again. When we arrived, however, it was not Boreas who greeted us, but a dark figure. A woman with a stare like blackest fire. Source Hunter, it would be my sincerest honor. Take this rune and use it to... I listened closely when I could to Boreas' doings. She gave him us, contained, and in return he gave her access to his great star stone, and scores of imps he'd invited to Hyperheim. After that, the two parted, and I heard little more of the woman. In his fits of madness...
We best be on our way then. The spring and autumn kingdoms won't rule themselves, you know. May our paths cross soon, Source Hunter.
It seems the Winter King has woven ice too rare and powerful for mere fun. I've tried my very best, and will try and try anew. But...
But I am in your debt, and I would be remiss not to honor your request. Shield your eyes, Source.
Gods, it's colder than a witch's teat. How very callous of Leandra to inter her only sister in a barren tundra for eternity.
Ikara, you're all right? The ice, King Boreas, and your sister. What a
And yet not even a frigid hell like this could induce you to put on a shirt, could it, Ahu? My old friend, surely I have you to thank for my salvation.
That honor goes to a pair of talented source hunters, actually. If not for their efforts, I'd be quite uselessly prowling around your prison still.
Then perhaps I ought to address my savior directly. Source Hunter, is that the masquerade? Well, what a motley crew we are. Isn't there somewhere a bit warmer we might discuss matters? Oh, yes, I suppose I am. But I do prefer my given name, Ikara. But I hope I haven't disappointed my own hero. Am I just as white and witchy as you'd hoped? Ah, yes, of course. Do pardon me. I didn't mean to imply you were very clearly eternal beings in the guise of minor mortals. Not at all. Please, let's do carry on. First things first, Source Hunter. For my freedom, I owe you every imaginable thanks. My soul had withered in this prison, and I might not have survived much longer without your help. Now, about the culprits. My corrupted sister and the mad Winter King. When I realized exactly where, and to whom Leandra was consigning me, I was certain I'd never enjoy the sun's warmth again. But neither she nor I anticipated the Source Hunter. That was her mistake, and I never would have imagined Leandra capable of dealing with the likes of Boreas, but she has changed into someone I hardly recognize anymore. I take no pleasure in the memory of that night. The thought of hurting anyone or anything is abhorrent to me. But in this case, I judged it necessary. If you've come this far, I trust you've learned that the Counselor was far from a humble civil servant. This doesn't excuse my behavior, but perhaps it can help to explain it. It's a sordid story, to be perfectly frank. 2 sisters, a philanderous, treacherous wizard, death and mayhem. Are you sure you're interested in such things? The sparkle in your eye belies your better nature, Source Hunter. Now I know that it is your duty to get to the heart of this. And, in truth, the events of that night were but one part of a larger and much darker matter. A matter in which I'll dare to beg your assistance before we're through with one another. Now that terrible night. One night, as I slept, I had a sudden revelation. No dream, but a vision. My sister Leandra and my lover Zandalor. I didn't understand, but I recognized their location. Syceel's King Crab Inn. I arrived and looked through their window, but inside, everything was wrong. Leandra had fled, and Counselor Jake stood over the wizard, a knife in his hand and hate in his eyes. As I watched, he drove the dagger deep into Zandalor's heart, and I was too late to stop him. In that moment, I broke. I saw before me not a man, not even a beast, but evil incarnate. And I used Source to slay him. On the floor lay Zandalor. In my hands, I held Jake's life force. I had sworn never to use Source, but I couldn't walk away. And so I did the unthinkable. I used the Counselor's life to save Zandalor's. He was alive, but only just. Betrayal. Murder. Source. We were all of us guilty now. If you were any other Source Hunter, I suppose you'd strike me down where I stand after that terrible admission. Fortunately for us both, you are no other Source Hunter. My own little sister, if you can imagine it. She was always the more ambitious, the more exacting of us, and she had no fear of the darkness that so often accompanies Source. Her collusion with King Boreas in imprisoning me here confirms my worst fears. She is planning something far greater than I could have anticipated. For this reason, and with a heavy heart, I must ask you, Source Hunter. I hate to extend my own invitation, Source Hunter, but I believe I ought to accompany you to Zigzax's hideout. Presumptuous, yes, but I'd recognize the imp's essence just about anywhere. Both he and you must learn more about the darkness that has extended itself into our dearest Rivellon. And I believe I know where we must begin. Ah, but unless that's a bear flailing through the threads of time, I do believe Master Zigzax is on his way. Make way, Source Hunter, landing in 3.
We have much to discuss. Come one and all to the end of time. Now, if we're done playing hide and seek, let's not waste a jot more time. Oh, I just can't wait to pick your every synapse.
After you, Master Zigzags.
We've solved the murder and caught the culprit. Yet this case feels anything but closed.
There's more to this crime than simple fact. Killing a killer is hardly the same as killing an innocent, after all.
We'll have to learn more before we can assess Ikara's true guilt in this matter. Fortunately, she seems quite eager to tell us more about this entire dark affair.
Play when you know what to look for. And luck, it's happened again, my friend. Another portal has reignited. The end of time is growing by the stone. It's all connected somehow. You, this place, the void, the stones. Soon, you don't imagine that I'd presume to explore it before you. No, I'm sure it's nothing. It's just that beyond the portal, I sense a presence that I can't quite account for. But this is only speculation, of course. Come, let me show you the way. Once you're through, you'll be able to report exactly what we're dealing with.
alive, Madam Weaver. Our friend Ahu here is no better than the Void when his instincts overcome. Why? I see Master Zigzags has upgraded from his shabby little hut at the edge of the hour, from the fairy dimension to the, space-time Weaver Hunter Imp one. What do you call this place again? Ha! Is that so? It seems I have my share to learn about the magical... Well, I must say, it's no small relief to find myself in a safe haven among such allies. I believe the answer to that begins centuries ago, when your order was still cutting down so-called... Ours was a family of born sorcerers, you see. It was in our blood to interact with Source. But our parents were determined to curb the power within us. Still, their meekness wouldn't save them from the Source Hunters. I am. But there is more to our kind than they teach at your academy. Source isn't only blood and madness. It's like lightning, an exquisite current. We sorcerers are like metal steeples. Source is drawn to us and it flows through. But what so many fail to understand is that Source can be controlled. The power drunk through history have abused it. Tell me, Source Hunter, in all your hours studying the arcane arts, did your great masters ever suggest that perhaps not all sorcerers were evil? Did you ever hear, even once, that some of us were weak and gentle? That we could be simple forest folk healing the sick and frozen each winter? No. I doubt also that they'd mention that one day this hunt of yours would birth a broken soul powerful enough to inch all of Rivellon toward oblivion. No, that would be going too far, and eschewing my own responsibility. I believe Leandra's long fall down did begin at the hands of some of your own order, but it was... We've a single order of business first and foremost. Leandra is gathering an army, but first, we must learn more about Leandra's plans. How many of these so-called Immaculates does she have in her palm? Your journey must begin in the Lacula mines, where she has been accumulating materials and manpower for a purpose as yet unknown. The way will be dangerous. Her allies are growing more powerful and numerous by the minute. But a soul forge comes with its own benefits, Source Hunter. Though our connection has weakened, I still see the occasional vision of Leandra's doings, the pangs of her deepest felt emotions, and flashes of her triumphs. One vision. I had thought it was only a nightmare, but now I see it was something much worse. Leandra is collecting materials, her frustrations are rivaled only by her mirth. I can see she's growing closer and closer to achieving something. The way may be treacherous, but you must get inside. I fear my sister is doing something dreadful so far from the light of...
I have seen the Void. I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter. Yes, that was a small fib on my part, I'm afraid. Zandalore is known as the Keeper of the Source, after all. And I didn't know how Source Hunters would react to my association with such a...
You and Zandalore have always been close, Ahu. Pray tell, did you know anything about his affair at the King Crown?
Come now. Do you really think he'd let me in on it in advance if he'd been planning an affair with your sister?
How can I tell? Maybe you talked him a thing or two about slinking around.
I wonder who awaits you in the next chamber.
What an impressive room.
Deo craime, fore dua, leos ral. But oh, how weak you have become. As weak as you used to be strong. Look about you, that it has come to this. Woe to the world that it has come. He won't believe me, the fiend. But they have come, as I prayed they would. Could they save me yet?
Of course, Chief. But back again, and not a moment too soon. Wait till you see the fine souls who've joined. Of course, Chief.
Something's gone terribly awry. Who do you think the creature in there was?
I haven't the foggiest.
Aha! The star-stone Stoneseeker's return. Most fortuitous indeed, for I have been pondering over the nature of our shelter play. For now, I will refrain from entertaining, or in the meantime, and in the interest of saving time, please tell me your thoughts about the lady you talked to in the... Deceive. Desert. Your words that... But no! Hold your chattering tongue, Zigzags. You promised you wouldn't have... You have my thanks, friends, for indulging me.
This place looks rather cozy, doesn't it?
It does. Almost like coming home.
By the fangs of the void, it is true. She told me she had seen you. Yet never would I have believed her delusions until here, the scurrilous sentinels themselves. It is look at what you have become. You.
That demon. And none too friendly either. This isn't my chest, which somehow... My old chest! Why do I remember it?
This chest. I know it to be mine. But how?
I have seen the void, and it haunts me. follows my vision like a...
I wonder who awaits you in the next day you both are. How jolly. There's something quite astounding you must look. A new story has been rewoven into time. A new portion of history appears to us for the first time in... Let us look together. Let us...
Long ago, two great generals led mankind in a terrible war. The dreaded Void Dragon threatened all of existence, and man and gods alike joined swords to stop it. The two generals were celebrated as the rulers of all, and even the gods paid them tribute.
Snuff it out.
Oh, but he sides with that which has no name. I know he does. He is betrayal incarnate. He tricked us and tried to do something.
Soldier of fire! And does this landscape not befit me? I have lived here for eons, since the first great peace, when the world as your kind know it, was first secured. We were invited here by a great leader, I believe. Yes, a leader, I'm sure it was. The details, but the radiance of that time has never left me. Victory, blazing victory, adorned our... What do I know? Ha! Fire magic is me, and I am it. A far better question is, what would you like to know? Take care, my... Take care, my...